when you don't have anything to offer as a man, any kind of value to offer as a man, you are very replaceable. And when you do get cheated on, when you are very replaceable, you can expect me to tell you that, yeah, you got cheated on. But to be honest, if you were a girl, would you stay with yourself? Hello, guys. Welcome to the part two of we kind of left the last episode in a cliffhanger. Part two of the video, depression and mental illness, and where we just talked, where we kind of just left it off because Zoom decided to kick us out and it was kind of getting spun out in over an hour. And so, Sakhi, what was the last question that we left it at? I think I'll just start with addressing that first.
Yes, so I was talking about how you cannot, you said that anybody who's gone to therapy, they ask them to, just put their emotions out there and just relax and accept the situation, and they don't give any concrete solutions. So my perspective towards that is that it is important for people to get reassurance from another third person when they are in a fucked up mind space, because reassurance and hope will give them a way further, a way towards the solution. That is okay, fine, now I have to get better, now this person will help me, or somehow we can fix this. So that hope that it brings, I think that is very important. Then that leads to other productive solutions that the therapist will suggest. So I think it is very useful. And just one point, and after that you can start your rant. But yeah, you talked about how suicide rates are increasing. I looked up for articles on that. I didn't find anything specifically for mental health or therapy, or how that has helped or not helped. But I did find this one specific news article which said that suicide risk falls substantially after talk therapy. So this was a study done in Denmark, and I think it was pretty obvious to me. And what is your perspective on that? Because I think you did have something to say.
Yeah, so this specific study that you're talking about, I'm not aware of it. The study which I did get was from a psychologist ka video. The psychologist, I think a few psychologists were actually talking about it. Wasn't Jordan Peterson. It was not Jordan Peterson. Few other psychologists are talking about it. I'll actually include the study in the description of this video, where suicide rates are increasing and all that. So when it comes, firstly, I'll just answer everything. I'll just answer all of your points as to the best of my ability. First of all, therapy. Talk therapy for guys and therapy for girls, I do believe it's completely different. I do believe it's completely different, because personally, when I have dealt with problems of girls, I found it was better, instead of giving concrete solutions for girls, you kind of justify why they're feeling the way they're feeling. And it kind of even relates back to the kind of things I read in that book, Way of the Superior Man, where the guy actually talks extensively about the feminine being a complete free flow of energy. You guys, the kind of feelings and the kind of thoughts that you guys have, it's kind of like the ocean. It's kind of unending. It's kind of like the ocean, where like if you put a rationale and if you try to completely box in your thoughts and all, it's like you're kind of building a dam to a river. You're not really letting it flow as freely as possible. So when it comes to just girls and their problems, I do believe the best way to deal with problems with girls and just to be there for girls, it's to just listen to their problems and really make them feel as best as possible, as loved as possible. Because personally, I do believe that most of the problems which stem for girls, most of the problems where it stems from for girls, it's a lack of love in some part of their life. Maybe it's family, maybe it's due to because of their parents, maybe it's because of their brother, maybe it's because of their husband or boyfriend or whatever. Any kind of problem, it kind of stems from love, which is why what I have found to be working so well is, instead of trying to logically solve a girl's problem, you try to just shower as much love as possible. Yeah, listen and just shower as much love as possible. Let them know you're there, then let them know how much you love them and whatever. The problem with guys, and I think this also I've observed a lot, obviously I've talked to a lot of guys and tried my level best to help a lot of guys and have helped a lot of guys. I'll say that is what I've observed is, most of the problems which stem for guys, it's stemming from a lack of productivity and a lack of progress in work. So this guy actually, again, I'm going back to this book. The guy actually says that for a masculine man, a masculine guy, it doesn't matter how good the relationship with his wife is, his life will still be incomplete, or there will be so many parts missing if he's not walking towards his purpose, or if he's not, if there is no concrete thing that he's working towards. In general, what he's saying is, if his work life is failing, his personal life won't be as fulfilling for a masculine
Okay.
man. For a feminine woman, what he talks about is, doesn't matter how good your work life is, if your love life and your personal life is fucked, you will be unhappy. A feminine girl will be unhappy. So whether that is the extremes, right? And I don't know, I personally love dealing with people on the extremes, because in extremes is where passion flourishes. And when a man is very masculine, a girl is very feminine, that's where passion flourishes. I believe passion is very important for these kinds of relationships. And so yeah, that is just out of the way. I think I kind of forgot some other points that you laid down. I think about therapy, yes. You laid down these, sometimes men need, um, what was it that you said? The therapists give reassurance to men. When it comes to
Reassurance and
just
hope.
therapists, yeah, when it comes to just therapists, I'd not completely entirely blame them, because what I have observed, which works a lot, very well for guys, is emotion, negative emotion, rudeness, anger. That is what works for men, which is why in most of the most of the videos, or when it comes to just influential people, you when you actually come across influential people who seem to have a lot of influence on guys, they are usually rude, because that is how we receive things, through criticism. You guys receive things through love, we receive things through criticism. It doesn't matter if you can sit there and tell me, I love you so much. It doesn't matter if your work is failing, I love you so much. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'll be like, okay, you love me, but so what? Doesn't matter. As heartless as it sounds, but that's how a guy will be feeling when that's said to him. So I think reassurance, I do not believe therapists for this, because they're getting paid to listen technically, and they're getting paid to listen. You technically shouldn't be rude, right? But rudeness takes away from that element of emotion, which is super necessary to influence a guy, right? Because that negative emotion, criticism, is absolutely necessary. And when it comes to just therapy, specifically therapy, reassurance, most of the reassurance which is done is false. As in a guy will just be super unproductive, he'll be super lazy, or at least these are the psychology, or these are psychologists I've seen, at least in most of the cases. I think people like, again, Jordan Peterson, he has talked about how he tries to layer in certain things very he tries to exponentially increase the kind of things a guy can do. But I don't think all psychologists are like that. Hopefully, I mean, I wish they were like that, but most of the psychologists just give false reassurance. It feels nice when you're sitting there. They give false reassurance so that you end up going there and paying them again and again. Because why? You feel nice when you go there. They give you assurance, but that assurance is not going to last. What is going to last is you getting concrete solutions. When I give advice, I do not give a fuck if the guy hates me or not. What I care about, if your situation improves. You can hate me from the bottom of your heart, honestly. You can sit there and be like, Madhesh said this. Madhesh called me a fat fuck. I'm gonna go to the gym for that. I'm gonna go to the gym for that. I'm happy. You hate me. It doesn't matter. Relevant. You are getting better. That is what matters to me. And I think for most guys, and yeah, what I was getting at is, most of the guys, if you actually listen to influential people, they'll just be flaming guys outright. You guys are losers, you guys are losers, you have to do X, Y, Z. When concrete things are laid out, literally very defined, guys receive it. When concrete things are laid out specifically for girls, it's kind of difficult for them to, I say girls, feminine girls, it's kind of difficult for them to receive it. Which is why, again, when it comes to just therapy, I never recommend therapy to anyone, because it has low probability that you will come across a good therapist. I operate in probabilities. Self improvement is in your hands, right? And when it is in your hands, you have so much more control over that, and it's free. Much better. What do you think about that? I think I went on a whole rant there as well.
So yeah, see, self-improvement is one thing, but depression, mental illness, mental health, all of this is a very big umbrella, and we can't generalize it because people out there go through different things. People out there with family problems, education related problems, future issues, or health problems, they go through all of that shit. And that's when they are in that headspace. If you tell them your life is fucked and you are fucked and you're not doing anything about it, if you say that to them, that is just going to make their situation worse, and it's just going to make them feel that I got no hope. I probably will be like that, will be unhappy for the rest of my life. That can also create a feeling like that. So I don't think we can be rude to people going through depression in general. With self improvement, yeah, person who's lazy, to me also, if you come and tell me you're just being lazy as fuck and you haven't done anything that you decided to do this year, I would agree with you and I would not feel bad, because that's the reality. When you know you're not depressed, when you know you're lazy, okay, that works for you. But when you're actually depressed, that just fucks up the entire situation. That's what I believe it does. What was I going to say? There was one more point that you mentioned in the end. What were you saying in the end?
Actually, I'll come. What was I saying in the end? I was talking about how advice works differently for guys, how advice works differently for girls.
Okay, okay, what are you going to say now? I
Yeah,
don't remember
what
what
I
I was
was
going to say.
yeah, it's fine. What I was going to say is, for a guy, when it comes to just family problems and all these things, right? I said this in the first part. I'm gonna say it again. It doesn't matter the position of the chessboard, right? Doesn't matter what position of the chessboard it is. If you're still trying to win, if the goal, if the end goal is still the same, you're still trying to win. The things remain the same. What you're trying to do still remains the same. And Andrew Tate, again, he says this. He said this. I'm literally quoting this whole thing. I'm actually quoting him. This chess thing also. He said it, and I'm gonna quote him again. It doesn't matter why you're depressed. I mean, if the end goal you're still trying to do that one thing is you're still trying to win. It doesn't matter why you're depressed. Even if your parents die, right? Very extreme. It doesn't. I'm not saying that doesn't matter, but you should use that in a positive sense. You sitting there depressed, crying your eyes out, not doing anything is not going to bring your parent back, right? So you can use this energy that God has given you. This negative energy. Negative energy is a gift from God. It's a fucking gift. You cannot improve your life with positive energy. As in, you cannot improve your life to the level at which with the level at which you can improve your life with negative energy. I don't know if that makes made sense. But negative energy is far more powerful than positive energy. So every single time you get negative energy, you should look at it as a gift from above. You are literally given the Greek gift to improve your life. Free motivation. You want what? No motivation. Look at you. Look at you. Your parents left you. You have this endless sadness endless sadness inside you. You're just gonna let it go to waste. I mean, honestly, if you just sit still, that level of energy which is running inside you, energy cannot be destroyed. So it's going to end up destroying you. So you either let this energy destroy you, or you use this energy to become a better version of yourself. It's either or. There is no in between, because the level of negative emotion that you get dealt with, it cannot be destroyed. So do what you will with it. Sitting still, honestly, you just sitting still, you're getting overwhelmed by negative emotion. You might as well be doing something. And honestly, it helps. When you have negative emotion, you just perform better. That is just the cold blooded reality. When you don't want to continue anymore, you think about how your girl left you, or you think about how someone died, someone close to you died. You get endless sadness, and you can convert that sadness. It's kind of magical. You can convert it into pure energy. And yeah, for someone who's going through that specific example that you gave, someone who's going through family problems, your life is fucked is exactly what he needs to hear, because it gets worse before it gets better. If you want me to sit there and lie to you and tell you that what how you're living is fine, it's okay to be depressed or whatever. I mean, it is okay to be depressed, provided you finish the things that you have to finish anyway. Feelings are secondary for a guy. Kings did not wake up every single day wanting to go to war. They went to war anyway. Soldiers don't wake up every single day wanting to die, wanting to go die. You think they don't want to stay with their families? They do it anyway, because that's what guys do. That's what we are respected for. Yeah.
I feel like the difference is that the approach, like you said, you have like you call it probably negative approach towards things, and I have a positive approach. And
It's not
see,
negative
it
approach per
doesn't.
se. It's a
Yeah, but
realistic approach.
I feel like when the starting is, I think, very different. So when you start to motivate someone, you'll be like, your life is fucked and you need to do something about it. When someone comes to me, I tell them, okay, this is how it is. What can you do to improve it? Take small steps, give yourself time. You have time. And I think that makes the mindset a lot better. And that helps you progress better. But you'd argue that for guys, it doesn't work that way. But I have guys coming to me for their own help. And it does give them help, I guess. So, I mean,
When
what?
it comes to just dynamics, how you deal with it, I do not agree with the fact that my approach, you called it negative. I do not think it's negative. I think it's competitive, one thing. Secondly, it's realistic. I do not care if it's positive or negative. I would state the facts. I'd state how it is, how real it is. You can expect in a room full of people and an elephant is there in the room, I will be the person to address it. Because God forbid no one addresses that. It kind of completely blows out into proportion and completely ruins the entire thing. I don't want that. If a girl leaves you, it's not your fault. Of course, I mean, it wasn't in your, I cannot even say it wasn't in your control, because I don't know if you were completely everything that you could be and your girl still leaves you, it's a win for you. It's a win for you because honestly, she left you and you were a man of value. She has to upgrade. She has to upgrade, right? But it's different for you. But when you don't have anything to offer as a man, any kind of value to offer as a man, you are very replaceable. And when you do get cheated on, when you are very replaceable, you can expect me to tell you that, yeah, you got cheated on, but to be honest, if you were a girl, would you stay with yourself? This is the question I ask. Most guys to say that I understand her decision, even though it's coming from a personal sulking point of view, where it's like I'm a loser or whatever. But it's necessary. A part of that is necessary. And sometimes that's what you are, which is fine. Start somewhere, but don't delude yourself into saying that, oh, but like I'm a winner, but I don't know, the world is against me or whatever. Bro, the world is an extremely giving place. The world is extremely giving. You saying you're unlucky or whatever, I would say you're very ungrateful, to be honest, because if you actually genuinely tried, you could literally name 100 things which you could be grateful for, which you are lucky that many people don't
Mhm.
have. You could name 100 things. It's actually very funny that most people who are born in a rich household are the ones who end up becoming the most depressed. Why do you think that is? Lack of gratitude is what is it, is what it is. It's all about perspective. So yeah, when it comes to just therapy, again, my way of therapy or whatever, when it comes to just when you said I would lay a guy down, I would lay a person down and tell him this is how it is, that's what I do, right? That's the same thing I do. I don't understand that. If anything, I'm more likely to do that than you. I mean,
No,
to sit a person down and tell him.
I feel like when what happens is with certain people, if you approach them that way, the way that you're talking about, they'll probably not come to you again because they are not getting the comfort that they're looking for at that particular point of time.
You know
Because
what I'll call those people? Wanting attention is what I'd call those people. You
see, when
you want solution, I give you solution. You don't want the solution. Sometimes the solutions are hard to accept. I'm not denying that,
Hmm.
but that doesn't mean you shouldn't accept it. If you don't accept it, I'll be like, fine. I mean, you're not coming to me. It's not my problem. I mean, whether you come to me or not, my life is still the same. I'm big deal. Oh my God. Jason did not come to me for the second round of therapy. Oh no, my life is going to be shit now. It's not like that. You come to me, I'll do my best to improve yourself, improve your life. Doesn't matter if you hate me or whatever, you can hate me. But I know, deep down, I know, and I will act in the way that I see fit, as in the
Hmm.
best way possible, in the best way that I do think it is necessary for the guy to act. So
Hmm.
yeah, I kind of interrupted you. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Actually, my bad, my bad.
That was it. I mean, do you want to touch upon gratitude? It's a very big part. I feel like
Gratitude, yeah,
so. I
gratitude.
I
So
was.
yeah, gratitude, it's a very big part. Yes, most people who are depressed honestly should just do two things, really. It's just when I lay it concretely like this, people are like, oh my God, but it's not so simple. Bro, you make it so complicated. There is no reason for you to complicate it so much. Like there's no positives to putting so much thought into it if at the end of the day you're just going to self-destruct. Just two things. Regardless of how you feel, act in the same way that you lacked as act in the same way you lacked as if you were happy. Like if I was happy or sad, I'll still do the same things when I wake up. It shouldn't change. If anything, if you're sad, you should do more because you have more motivation. Happiness isn't motivation, sadness is, right? So whether you're sad or not is secondary, but the kind of things that you have to accomplish, that is primary. And when you do accomplish things, the kind of dopamine you get from that will help you so much more to deal with depression rather than just sitting still and trying to process your emotions or whatever. Firstly, try to be productive as possible, even more productive if you're sad because you have endless motivation inside you. Do not waste it. I wouldn't even say do not waste it. If you waste it, you're going to die. That kind of negative emotion is going to consume you, right? So you might as well put it to good use. Secondly, gratitude journaling. And this is something that I do every single day that I encourage everyone to do. Literally, just Go through your day extensively. Go through your day. Look at all those circumstances where where you could be grateful for. I don't know, because I don't know. I go to gym. I go to the gym. I see so many people that I see every single day that I'm forming a bond with. That is something to be grateful for. Not many people go to the gym having people they know right there, right? People go to the gym and like have that be like kind of an alone place. It's not an alone. It's not like a solid place of solitude for you because you have so many people you know there. That's something to be grateful for. You have a functioning family. That's something to be grateful for. You have food on your plate. That's something to be grateful for. You literally have so many things to be grateful for. And this is why when people put this argument down, when I say that you literally have so many things to be happy about, when I say this, people are like, oh, but it's different for so many people. Bro, just try gratitude. Just try gratitude journaling. Put yourself in perspective. Compare your life. You sleep in an air conditioned room. You have a functioning family with your mother and father. You have food on your table 3 times a day, which is a fucking privilege. You have a roof. You compare this and you're depressed and you hate your life. You don't want this life, right? Compare this to a dude. You go to Pudupet. You literally go to Pudupet. For guys who are in Chennai, you go to Pudupet. You literally see the dark side of Chennai. There are literally people sitting there without electricity in small huts. So imagine during the times of summer when there is literally live mosquitoes getting bred from comb, literally coming here. There is nothing to protect them from this. I'm going on a little tangent there. My point is, you can always find something to be grateful for, even if your mother dies, even if your father dies. It doesn't. I'm not saying it's not painful. It's fucking painful. I understand, but the kind of things you need to do does not change. This is a winner's mindset. This, something that I obviously respect Andrew Tate, but again, Andrew Tate, he absolutely talks about his father a lot, right? He did not go to his own father's funeral. Think about that. I'm not telling you because he was in another country and he had a lot of business things to attend to. So when his sister told him to come and or whatever, he's like, I can mourn from here. That does not mean Andrew Tate loves his father any less than it does. If anything, that would have killed him. But that was the most logical decision he could have made. I don't even think I would make that same decision. But that is what it takes to succeed. Now you compare that dude, Andrew Tate, who does not attend his own father's funeral. You compare that dude to you. What chance do you have? What fucking chance do you have? That dude is literally productive no matter what. What chance do you have? You absolutely have no chance in any kind of endeavor that you wish to pursue. So, I don't know, for a guy, have a competitive mindset. Every single girl you want, every single money you want. Again, I feel like most of the things I'm just quoting that dude at this point, but I don't care. Every single girl you want, every single car you want, every single dollar you want, every single rupee you want, every single house you want, someone else wants. There is not a single girl that you can look at and you're like, I'm the only one who wants her. No, there are literally other guys who want her. You just have to outcompete the other dudes. That sounds ugly as fuck, but that is the reality. That is the reality of the guy. And as much as people want to frown when I say that, I have noticed this so many times when I say that for a guy, when I say this, a lot of people frown, but it's just the reality, man. Like a lot of people frown when I say that for a guy XYZ, but like they'll be like, because see, obviously what I'm saying is not comfortable. I understand it's not comfortable, but I'm not willing to lie. This is what I think. So yeah, I went on a whole rant there. I'll let you speak now. I'm sorry, Sakhi Jain. I'm very sorry, Sakhi Jain.
So there is this, so my mom counsels people, personal and career counseling, personal counseling. So what her approach is, I think, a mix of both of our approaches. And I think it is very, very effective because I've seen people who have come to her who have made their lives 500 times better. And this is not an understatement. I know
God
some
bless you.
very close friends of mine who have gone through shit and who have come out of it, and they are doing really good. So I know them. And so what she does is whenever someone comes to her, she makes them she listens. The first session is just listening to them. So she listens to them, all their problems. She processes things herself, and she's all calm and all of that. From the second session onwards, she starts making them do these activities, which are basically like write your strengths and weaknesses down there, and you know what you want from life, write all of that down. And what she does is, the first thing she does is she makes them grateful for all the good things that they have in themselves. Like, okay, you're kind. Okay, so that makes you a very good person, and how you can create this into, positive energy and help yourself and help other people. So when she lists all the positive things that the person has, they instantly have these dopamine boost, which in turn helps them to accept the things that she's going to say against them. So after she's done with the strengths, she goes to weaknesses, and she's like, you're lazy. This is something that needs to change. And what will happen if you keep living your life the way you are? This would happen. These would be the consequences. She gives them the whole picture. And what makes them receptive to all of that is that, okay, she's said good things about me, and okay, I have good things, and I can change my weaknesses to my strengths. So it gives them a sort of a hope. And she tries to, what their strength, she tries to monetize it in a way, like, okay, you have this, so how can
I
you
understand.
make your day productive, and how can you monetize it, basically earn from it and all of that. So I think that is the best approach that I have come across personally. And I've gone through, I mean, I've seen people who have been suicidal and who have come to her, and they have successfully come out of that whole mess and are something doing something really productive with their life. So I really think that's a very good approach. It's okay, it's positive also, and it takes you somewhere. So yeah, what do
Understand.
you
Yeah,
think?
actually, your mother's way of approaching it, I actually absolutely love. I think that
Mm,
is what I do already, minus the positive part. I do not really tell people to write down everything that you're grateful for. I think
mm,
that I should start doing. I
mm,
much rather would tell them, you have this. Look at the kind of things that you're grateful for. Like, don't tell me that you're unlucky or what of these things. And I think that is partly because that was what worked for me, and that was what worked for a lot of people. But I do believe I think I kind of, before I go on this whole rant about a whole negative rant, you can call it, but a realistic rant is what I term it, right? Before I go on this rant, I'd actually tell people disclaimer. I'll give people a disclaimer, and I'd even ask them, like, the kind of things that you're telling me, do you want me to just listen, or do you want me to actually give you concrete advice? And
mhm,
mostly they'll be like, they want advice. And guys, again, for guys and girls, it's very different. Guys, they're like, they want concrete advice, and when they do tell me they want concrete advice, my thing is, I tell them, most of the things that I'm going to be telling you now, it's not going to be things that you're going to like. I don't care if you hate me for this. All that matters to me is your life improves with this, right? And yeah, most of them do understand, and most of them, even though I'm calling them a loser, even though I'm calling them all of these things, I give them proper context to why I'm calling them a loser. It's constructive criticism in the sense that I call them a loser and I tell them how to not be a loser. It's
mm,
not me hating on them. It's not just, you're a loser, fuck off. It's not like that. You're a
mm,
loser, so that gives them concrete reason to change. If you don't have a reason to change, you won't change. Which is why people, there are an overwhelming amount of lazy people. Laziness is bad, they understand it, but there's no reason to change. Why change? Why bother, right? So me calling them a loser, me telling them that no girl wants to be you. If you were a girl, you probably wouldn't date yourself. All of these things are horrible things, right? I mean, horrible things, I say. It's kind of harsh things to say to someone, but it
mm,
gives them a reason to change. And when there is a proper concrete reason to change, they actually end up like putting in way more effort than they'd normally put in, right? And after I provide all these things, I'd obviously, like, how do I put this? How do I frame this? I'd obviously tell them the kind of things they're doing well, also the kind of things that they're excelling at, but
mm,
not too much. Because what I've observed in a lot of people is complacency is very real. As in, if I just tell you you're, I don't know, if I just tell you you're a good speaker, you would have you would have been improving your speaking skills literally to this day. I tell you you're a nice speaker, from this point on you're like, he told me like, I'm an amazing speaker. Why do I bother need to, I don't need to improve. I'm already an amazing speaker. Complacency. So I'm very careful about the compliments I give,
mm,
and I make it very very clear that the compliments I give is, it's literally the truth. I do not lie. So which kind of gives that much more weightage to the kind of compliments I give as well. So your mother's approach, coming back to your mother's approach, I absolutely am on board. And yeah, uh, if at all
yes,
I
so
was paid to do it,
I
if at
feel
all I
like
was paid to do it,
uh,
I would be more kind. Go
at the
ahead.
at the end of it, I think we just agree on the middle ground. Now, the thing about your approach is that I don't. You tweaked your approach a little bit after this, I noticed. But maybe you want to do better at advising people, and yeah, that is okay. That's a
Tweaked
fact.
in what sense?
Tweak doesn't. You said you would give them compliments. Previously, you were not saying that. Like you would
I
tell them,
didn't say
okay, you
that.
have these things.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I didn't tell you that, nah. But it doesn't mean I wasn't doing this already.
yeah. I
But
mean,
it's such a small part of it because compliments. It's a double-edged sword. What the person wants is not compliments most of the time, because
no, yeah.
compliments are very double-edged. Yeah, go
But
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
feel like it works in the positive sense, as in people become more receptive because they have hope. Okay, I have good things, I can do better, so I can turn my weaknesses into my strengths. That's basically what I'm saying, and that's what basically my mom does. And I think we agree on this part. At the end of it, I
There
think
was, yeah, there, yeah,
middle
at the end of the
ground.
day,
Yeah,
yeah, some
you
kind
should
of
end
middle
it. I
ground. It's
think
kind
it's
of nice.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, it's less than a middle. Holy shit, what a conversation, right? So yeah, guys, like that was part two of our entire topic of depression and mental health. If there are any kind of specific niches that you guys want us to talk about when it just comes to these topics, do let us know in the comments, or just do let us know personally. And yeah, we'll make sure we'll make videos on that as well. So yeah, guys, it was an amazing conversation with you, like Sakhi, as it always is. Thank you guys for watching, and see ya.